Do you remember this romantic wedding dance scene in the movie Me Before You?
And what do you say? You gonna give me a whirl?
How many of those did you drink?
Come on, let's give these tossers something to talk about.
All right. Are they all appalled?
Yes. Yeah.
Move closer. You smell fantastic.
Or how about this date scene from the movie The Fundamentals of Caring?
Are you asking?
Yes, I am.
Pick me up next door when you're ready.
Took me enough time to know sometimes I have to take you in my arms.
Are these the moments that we just see in the movies? Or do they actually happen in real life? And if they do happen, do films show how society accepts people with developmental disabilities? We are First Choice Family Services, and in this video, we'll be answering the question, can people with developmental disabilities party with others who are not like them? We will be seeing things from the perspective and the experiences of Dylan Alcott, an Australian Paralympic athlete growing up with a wheelchair. By the end of this video, you'll have an idea whether or not those with developmental disabilities can party or just hang out with people who are unlike them. Welcome back. We've prepared a fantastic video for you today, and we're more than sure you're going to enjoy it. But before we get into it, please ensure you hit the notification bell to stay tuned to our daily hacks and news about the DSP industry and the DD community. And if our videos help you improve your life by at least 1%, please consider subscribing or leaving a comment. Remember that we are here to serve you. Can people with developmental disabilities party? When we reach adolescence, it's that exact moment where we want to explore our environment and meet new people. For people with developmental disabilities, it's the same thing.
Up until this age, I'd never really cared about the fact that I was in a wheelchair. Everybody was young, nobody really noticed it, and everything just went along pretty smoothly. But at this stage, things started to change. People started going to house parties. Boys started kissing girls. Girls started kissing boys. Girls started kissing girls. And occasionally, boys started kissing boys. But absolutely nobody was kissing Dylan, I can tell you that much.
But we do share similar experiences when it comes to our age of exploration. For some, maybe, but for Dylan and others, that wasn't the case.
And it was also about the first time that I really thought about myself as being weird because I had a disability. And to be honest, that really sucked. And it had a big effect on absolutely everything that I did. I started having a crap time at school. It really started affecting my sporting career as well. And for the first time in my life, I was really, really down on myself.
Do people with developmental disabilities get invited to parties? Before we answer whether people with developmental disabilities can party with others who are not just like them, first things first, do they get invited to parties?
A mate of mine was having a house party. Now, this was a good mate of mine, a really good mate of mine. And previously, I'd never really been invited to that many house parties. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to go to your first one. I'm absolutely going to kill it, and everybody will invite me to all the parties coming up ever since. Now, the invites for the party came out, and what do you reckon happened? I didn't get one. I didn't get an invite. And I remember thinking to myself, that is bullshit. Like, I'm actually really good friends with this guy. Like, how could I not be invited to his party?
Dylan didn't get invited to his best friend's party, and he didn't know why.
I just really, really want to go. Now, back in the day, when you were 15, 16, it was super uncool and lame to text a person to ask if you can come to the party. The far more badass thing to do was simply turn up and jump the fence. Now, as you could imagine, jumping, it's not really my forte. And unless I had some kind of crane or like trampoline device, there was no way in hell that I was getting over that fence. So the only way to get in was to knock on the door and go through the front.
Can those with developmental disabilities party with others outside their group? Now here's the part we've been waiting for. Is it possible for people with developmental disabilities to party with those who are not like them?
I sat at home and I'm like, you know what, stuff it. I'm gonna go, see what happens. I got to the front door, I knocked on the door and my mate answered. And he had this really weird, shocked look on his face, like I was there. I remember thinking to myself, like, what have I done? Like, why didn't I sit at home and play Nintendo 64 like I did every other Saturday night? Anyway, he looked at me and he said, Dill, mate, I'm so glad that you came. I just didn't know if you could get in my house because I had a couple of stairs, so I didn't invite you. I remember thinking to myself, is that it? Is that genuinely the only reason that I wasn't invited? So anyway, I went in that house party, absolutely crushed it, had an awesome time.
The answer is yes, definitely. If this is the case, why don't we see more people from the DD community at parties? If it is possible, why isn't it a usual thing for them to just hang out with those who are not like them?
I remember the next day I woke up and I was really bloody mad at myself. I was really mad at myself that I let my insecurities and my embarrassment about my disability dictate the previous year of my life. I was really mad at myself that I believed this thing, this negative stigma that having a disability makes you weird and makes you different, and that's the only reason that people don't want to hang out with you. I'm really mad at myself that I didn't just grow a set of balls and have some confidence and talk to my friends and educate them about my disability. Now, the only reason I wasn't invited on that night wasn't because they didn't like me, but it was because I didn't tell them about my disability and that I didn't tell them that I could get up the stairs and it'd all be fine. I sat at home for a whole year thinking these people didn't like me. But the only reason that they did is because they weren't that uneducated about disability. And I didn't really do anything to educate them on it.
Now, not to generalize about the experiences of the DD community, but for Dylan, growing up with a wheelchair was his experience with parties.
Started being more social. I started getting a lot fitter. I started going out a lot more, and I even started kissing the odd girl or two.
If you're ever in a similar situation, it's worth a shot to step outside of your comfort zone. When you know you're surrounded by friends and family, develop your own voice. You want to go to a party? Don't be afraid to go. You'd like to meet new friends? Initiate a conversation. You want to hang out with certain people? Try to make plans. What we can learn from Dylan's experience is that he held himself back, and that deprived him of living fully.
I made a pact with myself to never, ever let my disability get in the way of what I wanted to do. I made a pact with myself to not be scared of my disability, but to be rather embrace it in everything that I did. And because of that, I've been able to live a truly incredibly awesome life.
You shouldn't define your limits before you even try exploring or pushing through them. Possibilities are endless if you just believe you can do what you want to do. And now, it is your time to move. Get services. If you have a developmentally disabled family member who needs support, please click below or in the description to get uncompromised DSP services. Become one of our staff. Remember that the First Choice Family Services doors are always open for results-driven professionals. Feel free to show your support to the developmentally disabled community by donating or participating in our charity and campus ambassadors programs. Get involved. Be social. Finally, get in touch with us through our social media channels to be updated on the news in the DSP industry and the developmentally disabled community. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends in need of a job after you subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. And remember, First Choice Family Services is your information resource for the DSP industry. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can stay connected.